For more than 40 years, East Tennesseans have trusted Madisonville Marine. They offer great prices, terrific customer service, and the biggest selection of boats in the area. Boats like the G3 Sportsman, featuring sturdy construction and superior features. These perfect fishing boats were designed with wide deck space, plenty of storage, and a smart layout. And they also deliver more fun per gallon than anything else on the water. See for yourself at Madisonville Marine. There's no better place to buy a boat.
The following is a presentation of Fox 43 Sports.
You are watching the Sports Source Kickoff with John Pennington, presented by Madisonville Marine.
Good game day morning. Tennessee kicks off in about an hour and a half. We're happy to have you here on the Sports Source Kickoff Show presented by Madisonville Marine. It's probably the biggest game of Butch Jones' career today. Tennessee hosting South Carolina, so we'll preview it in a lot of different ways over the next 30 minutes. I want to start right away. Let's just get into it. Madisonville Marine folks, you know, one of the things that makes them special is the fact that they're not just trying to sell a boat. These are guys, they're halfway between Knoxville and Chattanooga. They want repeat business, and for 40 years they've been getting it. And the reason is they want to find the right boat for you. So when you go down there, they're going to talk to you about your needs. They're going to talk to you about family. They're going to talk to you, how much time are you going to spend on the water? If you're not happy with the boat you buy, you're not going to go back. So their view, I don't want to just sell you a boat. I want to sell you the right boat that you're going to get the most of, and you're going to keep coming back. That is customer service. That is Madisonville Marine, and there's no better place to buy a boat. All right, want to welcome in this panel. Wow, we got the gang back together this week. It's good to have you. Jimmy Himes, VFL LaMarcus Thompson, VFL Will Overstreet, Mike Griffith down there. After 2 weeks off the field and plenty of noise to fill the void in between on those 2 weeks, it's been a lot of rumors and stuff around here. Tennessee hosts South Carolina at Neyland Stadium. It's going to be interesting to see what the crowd is like. But Mike and Jimmy, I want to start with you. The biggest story this week is going to be the quarterback change to Jarrett Garantano. We don't know what kind of leash they're going to give him. I mean, is this, it's you from here on out? It's you until you throw 2 picks and we take you out? We don't know yet, but I'll start with my media guys. Is this the right move to make this decision right now, open date?
I'm not 100% behind it, and part of it is, I'll say this, if Garantano has practiced well, which Butch Jones said he has, and you feel like he's earned the right based on practice, then I could see you going with that. But he hasn't played very well, and if he hadn't practiced well, I wouldn't make it just for the sake of making it. I know the offense has been struggling mightily. I don't think it's all Dormity's fault, but I'll go back to this. If you feel like Garantano has practiced well and he can give you that spark, I could see making that move, but I'm really not quite sold on it.
Griff, you like this move? I mean, if you're going to do it, I think doing it the week of the open date was probably the right way to do it, right place to do it. But do you agree with the move in general?
Yeah, because of the matchup, John. If you take a look at what's happened with South Carolina, mobile quarterbacks have given them trouble. I mean, they had trouble against Kentucky's quarterback. He broke up a really long run. Texas A&M has quarterback there, has some mobility, and he was successful. So I think this is a matchup thing as much as anything. I also think because Quentin Dormady is a junior with poise and he's kind of been a little bit more of the leader, I think he's capable of coming off the bench and being effective. So why not try something different if it gives you a good matchup, and you still have Dormady in your back pocket if you need him off the bench?
LaMarcus and Will, it's one thing to change quarterbacks. You hope they're going to change the system a little bit. Now, not throw out the baby with the bathwater, but we're talking about leaning a little bit more on the zone read now that you've got a guy who can run it, more designed quarterback runs. So do you expect them to make those kind of changes today? Do you expect the offense to look appreciably different than it normally looks?
I think they have to, and I think they have to get it done early. I think you have to make designed quarterback runs early in the game because you have to put the pressure on South Carolina and say we're going to do this early and often and keep that in the back of their head. If you don't, and you don't have much success there, then that really hurts you off the very beginning. And I think also you want to give you want to give them the opportunity to start the game fast, so get some confidence. So those designed runs are going to be out there early, I think, so that he has some confidence coming off and is able to do something.
LaMarcus, your thoughts?
I definitely like the switch, simply because if you look at it, it's going to bring the defense up. They're going to stack 8 in the box because of the run, read option there, as far as what's going on with, Garantano and also John Kelly back there, which is also going to bring the safeties up. Now you're going to have something open over the top. So, I hope the wrinkle helps the offense. I think it will.
It'll also be interesting to say, as I mentioned earlier, what kind of leash they're going to give Garantano today. That's what we don't know. We know that Quentin Dormady wasn't happy. We know that he kind of disappeared for a while the other day when he was given the news. He decided to stay. Who knows, though, if he decided to stay because they said, cool your heels, you may get in there as well. What promises were made, if any, to Dormady to keep him around? But let me ask my former players here. You guys, Will, you were on a 2000 team. You had a quarterback shift mid-year. You had controversy at the quarterback position off field due to some parents sending letters to the press, I think. LaMarcus, you're on the 08 and 2010 teams. You had quarterback switches both those times. Tell me about the locker room when you make this kind of a change.
Well, in our locker room, it was not a hard change because we saw a guy playing on the field in practice and had more confidence in that guy being on the field. So he was the best player, and you could tell he was going to be the best
player.
player.
You're talking about Casey Clausen.
Casey Clausen, yeah. So it was time to move him on the field. So, if you're earning the spot, no one has a problem with that. Because, listen, at defensive end, if the guy behind me was better, no one was going to feel bad for me that I got replaced. So why should they feel bad for the quarterback that gets replaced if the other guy's better? I think the key here is, does the team think that Garantano has earned the position, or is this simply, hey, we're struggling, so throw this guy in? That's a big difference, and that is the biggest thing you have to ask yourself is, why has he gotten this job at this point?
LaMarcus, in 2010, it went from Matt Sims to Tyler Bray, and Bray, of course, was the more talented guy. But let's look at 2008 specifically. You were over there. That offense, the claw offense, looks a lot like this one. It was Crompton. Then they said, well, let's just give Nick Stevens a shot. Right. That kind of feels like what we're looking at here. How did your team deal with that? Now, you were on the defensive side of the ball, but how did you deal with that kind of a Hail Mary at the quarterback change? Is that the way you looked at it, or did you have great faith in Nick Stevens? Not to knock Nick Stevens.
Not to knock Nick Stevens, but basically the team had to come together, as far as what happened in the locker room, because whoever was out on the field, you had to go behind that guy and you had to back him up, because you had to show him that you're confident in him so he can go out and perform well. No matter if he messed up, no matter if he came in through a couple picks and interceptions, you still had to go out and play the football game. So, basically you just have to go with whoever's out there, no matter if you think he's the good guy, you think he's not the good guy. If he's out there, you have to do what you got to do.
Okay. I want to show you quickly. Here are the last 8 Vol quarterbacks in their debuts. You see Dormady, Dobbs, Peterman, Worley. Peterman, boy, I went back and looked at some of those highlights yesterday. That I've forgotten. I guess it was after he'd already banged his thumb, the duck that just kind of flew out of his arm for an interception. Worley, Bray, Sims, Stevens, Crompton. The average for all those 8 debuts, 15 of 28. 176 yards, although that's brought down quite a bit by the 5 yards for Peterman. 1 touchdown pass, 1 interception on average. If Tennessee gets that from Jarrett Garantano today, is that enough?
Yes.
You think it would be?
Yeah.
To win the game?
Yeah. That's better than I anticipate.
Okay.
I'll tell you that. I may have a different take on it, but I think those numbers would be because I'm expecting him to help some in the run game too.
Yeah. So if he does that passing.
If he can do that passing, I think that would be acceptable.
Okay. You agree, everybody?
I agree. I don't want him to lose the game.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. So as long as we're not getting interceptions, fumbles, and picks, just so he manages it.
All right, let me ask you 2 a different way, just very quickly.
Okay.
Would you take those if I gave you the option, take those numbers or see what happens? What would you do?
I would take those numbers.
Okay.
Just take those numbers instead of see what happens right now.
You agree?
I agree with Will.
Okay, there we go. All right, when we come back, now we'll see how he does today. Who knows? Jarrett Garantano may surprise. There have been Tennessee quarterbacks in the past who didn't win the job on the practice field. Josh Dobbs. You talk to the players over there, they said that Peterman was the better guy in practice. Dobbs was the better guy on the field. Casey Clausen, for years, people said, well, he wasn't the greatest practice guy, but he was great on the field. Maybe Garantano is one of those guys when he finally comes in as a starter and doesn't feel like I got to make something happen or else they're going to yank me out of here. Maybe he's got it. We'll see. For Tennessee's sake, they better hope so. When we come back, we'll talk matchups. Carolina, Tennessee, where are the edges, and can Tennessee exploit them or hide them if the edge is going to Carolina? Come on back.
From games to weddings to parties, and from executive travel to a night on the town, Chariots of Hire is the simplest, most cost-effective, safest way to turn an event into a lasting memory. Their dozens of vehicles allow you to select the perfect ride for your need, and their superior service guarantees you'll arrive in style. More options, more drivers, more experience. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Chariots of Hire.
For more than 40 years, East Tennesseans have trusted Madisonville Marine. They offer great prices, terrific customer service, and the biggest selection of boats in the area. Boats like G3 John boats, built Gator tough. G3 Johns include all the features you could want from a workhorse boat. Massive live well capacity, lockable storage, even a midship fuel tank that allows for smoother running. See for yourself at Madisonville Marine. There's no better place to buy a boat.
Come experience the Lexus life at Lexus of Knoxville, a level of service and satisfaction that goes above and beyond the everyday. We're a consecutive 5-time Elite of Lexus Award winner and rated 4.7 out of 5 stars for customer satisfaction according to Google. Lexus of Knoxville offers a limited lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and select pre-owned vehicles with unlimited miles. Enjoy express service, extended service hours with courtesy vehicles, and much more. Come experience the Lexus life at lexusofknoxville.com.
Have you been hurt in a car wreck? Bill Hodson Associates, the car wreck attorneys, have helped thousands of people all over Knoxville and East Tennessee.
From downtown to the duck pond, Broadway has about 30 traffic lights. In our 30 years, we've helped people hurt at most of these intersections, and we're ready to help you right now.
Experience you can trust. Bill Hodson Associates.
When it comes to your business, no one provides better security and life safety systems than Safety Systems.
Protect your employees, your products, and your records with a single phone call.
Professional technicians ready to design, install, and monitor your cutting-edge fire and security systems. Electric locks and surveillance cameras. Emergency and after-hours response and repairs.
Trust Safety Systems, East Tennessee's leader in security and life safety systems.
Welcome back into the Sports Source Kickoff. This segment of our show brought to you by Chariots of Hire. Folks, they've been in business 28 years now. 28 years. It's not just for weddings, bachelor parties, those types of events, which of course they also handle. If you've got a big business trip or anything else that you need to take a whole company somewhere, they've got the motor coaches to do it. I mean, it's like Tim McGraw's tour bus. They've got some high-end stuff. But if you're just looking for a night out on the town, something special, a way to treat somebody, Chariots of Hire is the group to call. You get A1 service. It's a tremendous fleet of cars. They've got sedans, SUVs. It's really cool. Check out their website, chariotsofhire.com. These are good guys. And it's a way to take a regular date and turn it into a special date. For example, Chariots of Hire. All right. Gentlemen, Carolina's rush defense has been kind of up and down all year. You mentioned it earlier. A lot of the time it's been tied back to a mobile quarterback. They shut down NC State, Louisiana Tech, and Arkansas last week, but they got run all over by Missouri, Kentucky, and Texas A&M. All were 180 plus against them. Tennessee's rush offense, however, if you're looking at it saying, well, their defense is up and down, maybe that's where we get them. Let's take a look at the run down. Here's your yards per rush for Tennessee in their 4 FBS games. 6.73 against Georgia Tech, then down to 5.5, then down to 3.4, and down to 2.1. Okay. With a new quarterback, you guys mentioned this, I think we can delve more into it here. Don't you expect Will Muschamp stack the box, press the receivers, and say, beat me through the air?
I think he will. I definitely think he will. But if you see the Georgia Tech numbers, of course, it started going down because you have a one-dimensional offense. That's the only reason why it started going down. So if you go ahead and start having that open up that offense, of course, with the read option there. Now, like I said, he will stack the box, and I think something's going to be open over the top, which is going to back him up a little bit. Now you're opening up all ranges. You just
if your receivers can beat press coverage, and your quarterback can hit them,
and if they can catch the ball and not drop the ball when they have the opportunity to.
I was going to say, because drop balls has been Guarantano's problem. He's hitting them in the hands.
They've been dropping long balls. First down pass.
Yeah, they've been dropping balls. So,
but there's no doubt. I mean, Muschamp knows. I mean, he's got Butch Jones's number right now. I mean,
he's got Tennessee's number.
Yeah, he's confident. He's confident in his ability, and they've got to. you know, he's going to come out with the same defense he's done the last couple of years, and it's going to be lined up, press coverage, and he's going to be blitzing on the quarterback because he's not going to let a young quarterback get a bunch of time. So he's going to be bringing the house and say he's going to have to beat us, and he's going to have to make quick decisions and the right decisions.
Jimmy, when you look at Tennessee, ironically, their pass defense against FBS opponents, number 2 in the country. Only Michigan's pass defense is better. That's slightly impacted by the fact that nobody throws on them. They've faced 77 passes in their 4 FBS games because, while they're really good against the pass statistically, they're the worst in the SEC against the run. Again, that's skewed by Georgia Tech, but Georgia ran all over them too after that first quarter. The defense has gotten better,
right?
But
well, the pass defense numbers to me are a bit skewed because they haven't played a team that's a really good passing team, and I think Bentley's 3rd in the league in passing yards per game, so that will test them more. South Carolina does miss Deebo Samuel, but Edwards is a good player at receiver. In fact, Butch Jones said it's not a 50-50 ball when you throw it up to him. It's an 80-20 ball. He's that good. And the tight end, Hurst, is really good. So Tennessee's secondary will be challenged much greater. Look, Georgia Tech didn't throw the ball. Georgia didn't have to throw the ball. And then you had a UMass quarterback that got hurt somewhere in the second half. So I think the numbers on the secondary are skewed quite a bit. This will be, in my opinion, by far the biggest test the secondary will have against South Carolina's pass game.
And Mike Griffith, last year Tennessee said all they wanted of Jake Bentley. He was the surprise last year, and everyone was talking about this kid should be in high school, and he was tearing you up. Tell me about Jake Bentley and your thoughts on him and how Tennessee can defend him.
Well, Jake Bentley is obviously he's in his 2nd year, and he kind of gets off to slow starts in games, though, and that could be a big problem for South Carolina. If Tennessee gets any kind of momentum in Neyland Stadium with where this team's been at right now, backs to the wall, that could be really bad news for Jake Bentley. Also worth noting, talked with Bob Shoop earlier this season. He mentioned there were a couple games Tennessee wasn't able to really play their defense last year because of injuries. South Carolina was one of them. So South Carolina really didn't see what Bob Shoop would like to do. And you know what? They've actually had some continuity on defense this year. So I think South Carolina is going to see a little different Tennessee defense.
Magic show?
I don't know if I'm going to go that far yet. Who knows? The whole staff might be disappearing by the end of the year, so I'm not ready to throw magic show references out there yet.
Well, let me show you some stats here. I think this is interesting in terms of turnovers. It's ball hawks and butterfingers is what I used to call it on the Mr. SEC website. What I've broken down on offense is up at the top. Tennessee has run 321 offensive plays. They've had 10 giveaways. So in other words, they give away a turnover once every 32 plays. South Carolina, once every 60 plays, just 6 turnovers, 6 giveaways in 365 plays. Defensively, Tennessee has forced just 6 turnovers in 341 plays. Carolina, 13 so far, and again, it's about a 2-to-1 ratio, and in both cases, it's the wrong way for Tennessee. They turn it over twice as often. They get turnovers half as much. Overall on the season, South Carolina +7, Tennessee -4. That has to change if Tennessee's going to win today. They cannot continue to turn the ball over. And you look at that South Carolina defense, they got 3 last week against Arkansas in a blowout win. They took them back for scores. So if you keep losing the turnover battle, I don't see Tennessee winning this game at all.
I agree completely.
You take Dormady out. He was responsible for, 6 interceptions and 2 fumbles? Mm-hmm. How much do you think, though, new quarterback Jarrett Garantano is going to take care of that football?
Well, he needs to do a very good job taking care of it. Watching him some in the spring, I thought he forced some passes, whether it was in practice or whether it was in the orange and white game. And so I don't know that he's quite as comfortable with that. I think he's got so much confidence in his arm, he thinks he can squeeze balls in. That's a little bit of a concern.
And he does have a gun.
He does. He's got a very good arm. So it'll be interesting to see. And I'm kind of with Will on this. I think South Carolina's going to throw a lot of different stuff at him, whether it's zone blitzes or corner blitzes, whatever, safeties. They'll throw a lot at him to make him make the quick decisions. Is he ready for that? We'll see.
Yeah, John, I think the whole key is whether or not Jarrett Garantano is ready to tuck the ball and run. The called runs, I mean, everybody talks about Dobbs. Listen, Josh Dobbs was at his best on broken plays, not called runs. I think the same will be true of Jarrett Garantano. Is he smart enough? Does he have the poise or the experience or the knowledge to know when to tuck it? 1-2 read, not there, tuck it and run, because I don't like the called runs for quarterbacks. I don't think they've really been that effective the last couple of years. But if he's got the moxie to make the scramble plays like Michigan State's quarterback did against Michigan, I know a lot of people saw that, that's the difference in the games when a quarterback knows when to run.
I'll disagree with you because I saw Josh Dobbs when they did design quarterback runs, and it was rare that they called for one. It was rare that you saw it last year, but every time they did it, I would wind up tweeting, see, that's why you should do it. Usually worked.
Well,
Or else I'd have stayed quiet. Oh, I was wrong.
He was good on zone leads, too.
Yeah. So, yes, very much so. All right, guys, when we come back, biggest game of Butch Jones' career, who wins it, and what impact does that have on Mr. Jones if it's not Tennessee? Come on back.
When it comes to your home, no one provides better security and audio-video systems than Safety Systems. Control everything using your tablet or smartphone, whether it's a hidden TV or the temperature in your home. Lighting, doors that open and close, lock and unlock, cameras that allow you to watch your home from wherever you may be, all at the touch of a button. Trust Safety Systems, East Tennessee's leader in security and audio-video systems.
For more than 40 years, East Tennesseans have trusted Madisonville Marine. They offer great prices, terrific customer service, and the biggest selection of boats in the area. Boats like Suncatcher pontoons, ultra luxurious, sophisticated, and stylish. You won't find a more family-friendly pontoon boat. All with cutting-edge technology designed to enhance the quality of your time on the water. See for yourself at Madisonville Marine. There's no better place to buy a boat.
Have you been hurt in a car wreck? Bill Hodson Associates, the car wreck attorneys, have helped thousands of people all over Knoxville and East Tennessee.
Two of America's busiest interstate highways intersect in Knoxville. Interstate speed keeps traffic moving, but it can also result in terrible wrecks. We've helped a lot of people hurt in these wrecks, and we're ready to help you right now.
Experience you can trust. Bill Hodson Associates.
Come experience the Lexus life at Lexus of Knoxville, a level of service and satisfaction that goes above and beyond the everyday. We're a consecutive 5-time Elite of Lexus Award winner and rated 4.7 out of 5 stars for customer satisfaction according to Google. Lexus of Knoxville offers a limited lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and select pre-owned vehicles with unlimited miles. Enjoy express service, extended service hours with courtesy vehicles, and much more. Come experience the Lexus life at lexusofknoxville.com.
From games to weddings to parties, and from executive travel to a night on the town, Chariots of Hire is the simplest, most cost-effective, safest way to turn an event into a lasting memory. Their dozens of vehicles allow you to select the perfect ride for your need, and their superior service guarantees you'll arrive in style. More options, more drivers, more experience. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Chariots of Hire.
Welcome back into the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Madisonville Marine. This segment brought to you by Lexus of Knoxville, home of the lifetime warranty. They have a college graduate finance program. They've got a military appreciation program, and they've got the best prices on the best cars in East Tennessee. Lexus of Knoxville, they've been there many, many years. When you think about class, you think about Lexus, and you think about that dealership right there. Lexus of Knoxville. Learn more by going to lexusofknoxville.com. We appreciate them for being a part of the Sports Source Kickoff. Get out there and check them out. I want to remind you that tomorrow, on Channel 6 at 11 a.m. You can flip over, and the Sports Source will be there. You got all the VFLs in orange: Shazan Bradley, Sterling Hinton, Daniel Hood, Will Overstreet, and then you got the media guys: Ryan Callahan, Chuck Cavaliers, Bob Hodge, Jimmy Himes, and myself. This could be, we've put a lot of coaches under since we opened the show 15 years ago. Depending on how this game goes today, we could be talking about another change. But let me start with Will and LaMarcus very quickly, guys. Okay. Whenever you're losing, rumors get out there, and they tend to be blown up a little bit, I think. But you've had suspension to Darrell Taylor for a fight with Trey Smith. You've had talk of the locker room quitting on the coach. You had the rumor earlier about Quentin Dormady perhaps quitting the team. How difficult is it, though, to get a read for the inside of a locker room if you're outside? Can you get a read on it? Because you've had Marcus Tatum came out this week and said, our locker room's fine. We just need wins. How easy or hard is it to read that locker room from the outside?
It's difficult during the week and during practice at times. I mean, sometimes you can read it in a guy's body language, but I think you're going to find out very quickly in the game. Because you're going to know if this team comes out in that first quarter and plays or not. If the locker room has problems that first quarter, you're going to see an apathetic team out there on that field, and that's your point of knowing for sure the locker room has problems.
I'm definitely going to agree with Will, because if you go back to the Dooley era, basically they almost quit on the Kentucky game, I believe it was. They just said, we just don't want to play for this guy anymore, basically. So it's definitely going to tell once you see what happens in the game there. So I definitely agree with you.
I think defense is the place to look at that. I think the offense may come out and just be so limited. They may look like they're not trying. But defensively, like for example, they came out against Georgia and I thought the defense played well for a quarter and a half.
Well, number 4 is going to be trying on offense. That's one thing. The one guy you can count on is John Kelly. He has 0 quit in him. I can guarantee you that.
He needs a line in front of him to open some holes. He'll need it today.
But that's unfortunate that he's the only one that you could say definitely.
I agree,
definitely say that.
I agree.
Let me ask Jimmy, I'll start with you. Who wins today?
Well, I've changed my pick.
You did it again?
I've done it again.
I'm going to have to asterisk you for our Sunday show.
Well, from Sunday to Saturday or to Friday, whatever day it might be. Once I've digested it, sometimes it gives me indigestion, but once I've digested it, I just look at it and I think South Carolina has the momentum. I don't like where Tennessee is coming off the Georgia debacle, and I think South Carolina's a more confident team. I'm going to take South Carolina.
LaMarcus?
I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to say Garantano is the best thing that happens in college football.
So you're taking Tennessee?
We're going to take Tennessee. Let's see what happens.
Will?
I'm going to take South Carolina. I do agree.
You flipped too.
I agree that Jimmy that the momentum is with South Carolina, and I also think the coach has something in the back of his head that this guy's got you. He's got your number in every game, and I think that sometimes plays into these kinds of things, especially if it's a close game in the fourth quarter.
We've seen it with Tennessee coaches and different teams. I mean, Johnny Majors had an Alabama thing. Philip Fulmer had a Florida thing. But it does look like now it's a Muschamp thing. It's a coach thing. Mike Griffith, who wins?
I'm going with Tennessee. I like the matchup for the Vols. I like the move to Garantano, and I don't know how Jarrett's going to play, but I'll tell you this: he's got a lot of confidence. The last quarterback that I've covered with this much confidence was Casey Clausen. I don't know if Jarrett can back it up like Casey did, but I tell you, he's got some swag. He brings it.
I said last Sunday South Carolina by 7. I still stay there, but we'll see. Anything we
you
don't know.
You convinced me, by the way.
Yeah, good. That was it. So you went back and watched the show once today and said, okay, finally,
I'm going with him.
Finally, I'm with it. If it's a bad loss, I still don't think people are saying, well, you're going to have to fire him. It's a bad loss. I think technically, if you lose it to South Carolina, that will be the end. I don't think he'll be a 2018 for Butch Jones, but I don't think they make the move this week. I just can't see any way they would say, yeah, let's put an interim in place to go to Alabama. No. I think he's getting through the Alabama game regardless.
Agree.
You agree?
Agree.
Everybody agree with that?
Agree. Yeah, agree.
I don't anticipate any kind of change based on a loss today. But of course, watch the Sports Source tomorrow, and we'll be discussing whether or not there was one. But here's the thing. I mean, he's kind of backed into a wall in terms of South Carolina, Kentucky, and Vandy, maybe Missouri. I don't see who he can really lose to, aside from Alabama, and survive in terms of the fan base.
Maybe LSU.
Maybe LSU, depending on what they do moving forward.
Right.
Yeah.
They haven't looked strong.
It's difficult right now to see how they don't lose one of those games, just the way they've been playing, and that you've been 6 quarters without a touchdown, I think it is right now. So right now there are no answers or no facts you could point to and say that's the reason they're going to come out. Maybe today they show up on tape and you have some momentum and something to point to. But right now there is nothing to point to and say, yep, this team's going to go through those games and has a good chance of winning all of them.
There's an interesting thing that until midway through last year, and you can make an argument that injuries played a part in it, but teams at Tennessee had really fought and kept fighting for Butch Jones. I mean, Georgia Tech, they fought their way back. It was a team last year, the first half of that season, they would fight back, they would claw. Now you've got the questions about the locker room and everything else, and I just wonder what this team has in it in terms of chemistry at this point, in terms of backing that coach. Your thoughts on team chemistry at the moment, Jimmy?
Well, I question how good it is right now. I'm with Will on this. You don't know until they get up there and play against South Carolina, but with the skirmishes in practice, you got to change a quarterback. You had a quarterback that allegedly was not going to come back, had to talk into returning. I wonder about where they are in that regard. But you did mention this, and I agree with this. They came back against Georgia Tech. They were down 10 in the fourth quarter or second half against Florida. They came back, tied it. I like that fight about this team. So whether that continues, I don't know. Remains to be seen.
Yeah, you didn't see it again. There wasn't a lot of fight against UMass from the get-go. And then Georgia, they weren't able to fight their way back, so you do have to wonder about it. Guys, I want to say thanks to all of you. Mike Griffith, Will Overstreet, LaMarcus Thompson, Jimmy Himes. You can see some of these guys tomorrow with me as well on the Sports Source over on Channel 6. We appreciate you for being with us, and of course, we appreciate all of our sponsors. Got to say thanks to all the folks who make this show possible, and we hope you'll go out there and thank them as well. And we will see you right back here, 10:30 next Saturday on Fox 43. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m., Channel 6. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Fox 43 Sports.